It's true, Shawn.
What are you talking about? What's true?
All of it. You know all of it. You know it.
So where can I find this truth? It
On the Pop Bros Network, because this is a Pop Bros exclusive.
Did you just want to act like Han Solo again?
You know, doing a promotional spot isn't like dusting crops, boy.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance, the bromance of workmance.
Yeah. So Richard,
what's the base word in bromance? Shawn, it's romance. Let's talk some romance.
Yeah, this gets into some romance.
We're getting romantical.
So Richard, like there's times where you're like, in the private sector, or at least in like a visible business, like if you get in trouble, like you got to go to the boss's office, right? You have to sit with the boss. The boss will be like, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing. Stop fucking shit up, right?
Yeah, that's what happens.
In the world of sports, because it's just a job, right? I mean, it's a kid's, like I'm leading us down to baseball. It's a kid's job. It's like a kid's game, but it's a job for these adults, right? It's their work. So when you mess up big time,
for the adults, it's work.
Yeah, for the adults, it's work. I mean, it's their job. It's what they get paid to do. So
they get paid to hit a ball.
They do. They get paid
I heard
money.
once that they said hitting a baseball is the hardest thing that you can do in sports.
I've heard that.
Or
yeah.
the hardest task to do in sports is hit a baseball. But then I was watching this episode of The West Wing, and Martin Sheen said that. He said, somebody once told me that the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball. But then I had a coach tell me that the hardest thing to do in sports is not hit a baseball. The hardest thing to do in sports is to go into your team's locker room at halftime during the Super Bowl and completely change the tactics that got you there because it's not working anymore.
Oh yeah, it's the old football. It's like we're playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
The problem is though, Richard, is that when they stop playing football, they can't play chess or checkers because their brain's all fucked up. But no, Richard,
am I red or am I black? I don't know.
Just tackle somebody.
Whoa, just reach over the board.
They said this helmet would be better. No, I'm talking about, so recently, Richard, in the Royals organization, the great city of Kansas City, one of their players got arrested for a DUI. He goes by the name of Danny Duffy, which is a great name. That's a baseball name.
No. Okay. So, hang on. Okay. Now this is going to sound stupid. This is going to make me sound stupid. But before we start recording, we kind of Shawn kind of gives me a gist on this thing that he read, and he was like, "Oh, there's this porn thing I saw about the Royals," and I was like, "Okay." And I swear to God, Shawn, I thought you were talking about the actual royal family in England. I swear to God, I thought that's what you were talking about. So I don't know if you just saw my face. But we're sitting here and like, okay, we're gonna go to the great state, the grand city of Kansas City, and I'm like, why is the Queen in Kansas City? This doesn't make any sense. She doesn't leave the palace.
Baseball really is the toughest sport.
Oh my God!
No, I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Richard.
See, now I'm imagining the Queen like hitting a double.
Yeah.
Or the Queen Mother hitting like a single and like hauling that 85-year-old, or how old is she? Like 112, like
she's got to be like
chucking down the first baseline. Oh,
do you imagine her chewing out an umpire?
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Hello, governor.
I'm gonna slap you with my waving hand. Whoopsh.
Don't make me take this crown off."
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna talk about the royal family. I am not joking.
Well, I'm sorry. This might not be as fun.
Does that make me? Do you have to pull a man card for that one? Is that borderline?
Borderline.
Yeah, that's on there.
Yeah, borderline.
Like, we're going to talk about the Royals. I'm like, ooh, I love palace intrigue. Well, I feel stupid.
That's okay,
I
Prince
feel even
Charles.
stupider that I admitted it.
Yeah, you could have played along. Be like,
I
oh, yeah,
could've.
totally. Kansas
But
City
no.
Royals.
Yep, Kansas City Royals. I hope they score many baskets.
Been awesome if you'd be like, Sean, you are a dumbass. The Royals aren't in Kansas City.
They're in England. They have a whole palace.
I'm talking about baseball, Richard.
about?
They don't play baseball in England. They play cricket.
They play cricket and football, but it's not football, it's soccer. Oh, the world's such a crazy place.
No, Richard. So Danny Duffy recently got a DUI, and so the general manager, Dayton Moore, held a press conference, because in sports, that's what you have to do. Somebody messes up, so you got to tell the press and everybody, because basically it's kind of like a Kardashian-esque entertainment world, but it's for sports. Like, you go talk to a sports fanatic, and they will probably diss on the Kardashians, but they are just as bad when it comes to stuff like this.
Right.
So anyway, he calls Danny Duffy up and is like, hey, we've got to take care of this. He made a mistake. Athletes are athletes. And so as Danny Duffy sitting up there, he's like, yeah, I fucked up. He didn't say that, of course, because it's got to be PR safe. But he's like, I messed up. I drank.
You can't. Yeah. Oh, I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to. Usually it's sex addiction. Oh, it's because I'm a sex addict, and I'm like, it was DUI. Like, how does being a sex addict get you drunk in a car?
Yeah,
He's
typically
watching
it does,
porn
yeah.
Totally different than the way I'm watching porn.
Yeah, typically it is. They're like, no, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm addicted to sex.
Like Tiger Woods. It seemed like that was the thing. Okay, real talk for a second. What exactly is it that makes you a sex addict? And I'm not dissing on sex addiction. I guess I'm just saying that I don't fully understand it, because
the episode of The League I watched, which is a fantasy football TV show, like where it's a bunch of guys.
I've seen that show. Okay.
There was a guy who was a sex addict. He's like, so for me to explain sex addiction, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, you see this peach or this pear, or no, this cantaloupe. It was a cantaloupe. And the guy's like, yeah, I see it. It looks like boobs. So like, you think it's boobs, right? He's like, no. First, I want to caress this cantaloupe, and then I want to kiss this cantaloupe, and then I want to stick my dick in this cantaloupe. That's sex addiction, I guess. Of course, that's probably very, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
You're saying it's very rudimentary?
Yeah. But the dude on there was a sex
because
addict.
he wants to have sex with fruit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
As long as you eat it afterwards. You don't want to waste it. Save the environment.
Right. Well, you could end up, then it ends up being a story on Reddit, like with the coconuts. Did you see that thing?
I didn't.
So there's a subreddit called TIFU, stands for Today I Fucked Up.
I've seen that subreddit, not that story.
Okay, so there were, I want to say this was like in August. There was a whole, or like late July, early August. There was a slew of stories of people having sex with coconuts.
Well, that seems impossible because coconuts are hard.
Right, but so am I. So what they do is they drill a hole in the coconut, and then they have sex with the coconut.
Seems like there's going to be a lot of cutting and abrasions on your
So there was a whole mess of stories. Like, it took over the subreddit for like 2 or 3 days of these horror stories of people having sex with coconuts. Like, there was one guy where he drilled the hole too small, and then like he started, and then he got hard, and then he got stuck in the coconut. Like, that was the story. There was another story. This is the story that sicked me out was this, okay? So the guy drills the hole in the coconut and has sex with the coconut, and then he's just like, well, what do I do with it now? And so he sets the coconut under his bed.
Ooh.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then, like, later on, like, day or two later,
he gets hard again. He's like, oh, yeah, I got that coconut.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got that coconut. So he does it again. So Shawnee does this over the course of a summer.
Oh, so, okay, so legit, he was doing it.
Yeah, like, over and over again with this coconut.
Yeah.
So towards the end of the summer, he's like, oh, I'm going back to this coconut. So he goes to the
It got
coconut,
pregnant.
puts his thing inside the coconut, and he's like, this feels weird. And he pulls out the coconut. Shawn, there are maggots on the coconut. Or not maggots on the coconut. There are maggots on his dick at this point. And so he's like, oh my God. He freaks out, throws the coconut. It hits the wall and explodes. So the coconut explodes, and then there's pieces of coconut and
Man
semen
juice.
and maggots like everywhere, because apparently flies had gone inside the coconut and made fly babies.
Yeah, it's a fruit, so they're gonna go in there and
right.
Laura, what smells like piss and semen and flies in here?
Laura, why don't you clean this house more? There's flies everywhere. They're coming out of your little Pookie Bear's room. I don't know what that's about. Oh my God, Laura. His bed's full of coconuts.
Well, it's like you didn't have to reuse them. I mean, coconuts are cheap.
I
Disgusting.
understand we live in a landlocked state, Shawn, but God damn it. You can buy a coconut. Just buy a new coconut.
I feel like the instant of regret is like, so you start getting busy with the coconut, and you're like, well, this is weird. You pull it out. You see what's going on your wee-wee. All these maggots. You're like, oh, instant regret. I'm so angry. I want to throw this coconut. And like, as it hits the wall, you're like, oh, instant regret again. I'm going to put a hole in the wall. But then it's like another set of instant regret as it explodes.
Exactly. Because it's now because since it's been sitting there all summer, it's like all soft and malleable. So it hits the wall and then just kaploosh.
It's a maggot semen bomb.
Blech.
I'd just like to clean that up.
God, no. Give me a sock any day.
Gross.
Yeah. How many pieces of clothing have you lost to clean up?
Like 47.
We're just like where you're like, okay, so here's the don't look at me like this. Okay, so here's the thing when it comes to that is that you start out like, hey, like this seems like an opportune time. Like I'm going to go ahead and take care of this right now. So you do it, and then after, like, as soon as it's over, instant regret, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that just me? Like, is not the first feeling you feel after you're done is shame?
It's like, oh, there's nothing around to clean up.
Right, because
so
then you stop, and then you're like, oh, God. And then you're looking around, and you're like, oh, now what do I do? So your options are two. You either A, try and figure out some way you can deal with it using whatever you have in arm's reach, usually one arm's reach, or you have to stand up and do this like penguin walk of shame to the bathroom or to, some place where you can, clean yourself because you're a disgusting human being.
Yeah, I've never done that, Richard. You are very disgusting, and may God have mercy on your soul.
You're a bastard.
But so Danny Duffy, Richard, he's at this press conference.
Prince Danny Duffy. He's one of the royals.
And Dayton Moore's going through this whole thing. So I think he's kind of got a pretty high moral standing of being like, he's trying to help the team not have like these alcohol issues and other things that can hurt the organization.
Yeah.
So Danny Duffy, I'm sure, is married or has a girlfriend. So he's sitting up there and like, he's already ashamed, right? He's like, I did this thing I shouldn't have done. All of a sudden,
not penguin walk to the bathroom kind of shame.
Not
but,
yet. Yeah.
It's shame nonetheless.
But as he's sitting there with the general manager of the Royals baseball team, the general manager starts going into this tirade, not really tirade, but basically this explanation of like, other things that he's trying to help the team get over. And so he says, in quotes, "We talk about pornography and the effects of what that does to the minds of players and the distractions and how this leads to the abuse of domestic abuse to abuse of women, how it impacts relationships." So you're sitting there, Richard, as Danny Duffy, like, oh man, I drank. I gotta apologize.
I got drank. I got pulled over. It was a mistake. I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I drank. and drove.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible thing.
And now your boss essentially is like, oh, and by the way, this guy has a porn addiction as well as the rest of the team.
Oh, you know that Danny Duffy was probably like sitting there and he just did this like head turn. Like, what the fuck, dude?
My mom's watching this. She can handle the fact that I drink and drive. She cannot handle the fact that I look at pornography.
I'm here. Like, I'm doing this thing.
I was here for the DUI press conference, not the porn addiction one.
What? Like, why are you putting my business on the street, man? This is some bullshit. I'm just sitting here trying to tell people and feel sorry for myself, and then you come along with your, hey, by the way, he, likes, he's into interracial. I don't know if anybody knew that. Did anybody know that? You can quote me on that. Interracial.
Danny, we said you weren't going to talk here because of your DUI, remember? Oh, now I'm into all kinds of weird stuff that I didn't know about.
And then he does.
You okay?
Then he does. Huh?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm sneezing like crazy. But yeah, then he does the whole speech from Chasing Amy, where it's like, these guys, they like a wide selection. Sometimes they're into nasty close-ups. Sometimes they're into, it's a spread eagle kind of night. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, some of them, like a girl and a horse.
Then Black Beauty did some of his own mounting.
Sick bastards. But you know what? They hit a ball great, so.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like you think about baseball. They're on the road, 6 or 7 times a week, maybe.
Yeah.
When they go on these long road trips. I mean, what do they expect to do? They got their smartphone. They're in the hotel room. They could be going out, picking up those ladies at the ballpark, but no. Danny Duffy, I don't think this is in quotes because he hasn't said it, but he's just going back to his dorm room. Yeah. Or not his dorm room. His hotel room. Taking care of business like a true-blooded American male.
Like a gentleman should. And now this a-hole's trying to call him out on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Well,
if I'm Danny Duffy, I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa, hang on. Like, yeah, I drank and drove, like, terrible fucking thing. But dude, come on. Like, what do you expect me to do? I'm on the road 6 days a week. Like, what the fuck? What do you want from me? What more do you want?
Oh, so Danny, you're saying here that you do not look up porn? No, of course I do.
Oh my God.
I just don't want it out on the front street.
I'm looking at it right now. I got my phone right here under the desk.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like bullshit. Sorry, I drank and drive. And you're going to be like, yeah, we're putting in programs, blah, blah, blah. I'm just flipping through some of these pictures. And I hear about this porn issue. Does this look like an addiction?
I'm looking at the Gone Wild subreddit. And meanwhile, you people are sitting there going, oh, aren't you ashamed of yourself? I'm like, yes, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm terrible. I drank, I drove. It's a terrible thing. Kids don't drink and drive. But kids, go ahead and look at porn. It's fine. You're not hurting anybody. Despite what this fucker's telling you.
Well, I like the fact, too, that, like, one of the things in here is, like, it's surprised to hear a team that has, like, a prioritization of this thing. It seems like an odd thing for a team to be like, hey, we've got an issue with this. We got to solve in the public's eye.
Oh, my God.
So this got
that's the thing is, like, do you think, like, was the owner trying to score brownie points for this? Like, oh, by the way, we're also helping our teammates with porn addiction.
I don't know.
Isn't that wonderful? And then the team's like, dude, like twice a week I hop on RedTube and look at some videos. Like, get off my case.
I had a bad game. I'm stressed. Like, what else you expect me to do?
God damn it. The name of our team's the Royals, not the fucking Puritans.
But I guess, like, well, I know they had a pitcher who died last year from a car crash. So I know they've been trying to. That's something that happens, it seems, every couple of years. Like a baseball player ends up dying in a DUI accident. Because I guess there used to be like a lot of drinking in the clubhouse. So a lot of teams kind of promote like, hey, be smart with this. Like, here's numbers you can call. We'll pick you up. But I guess they don't have numbers to call. It's like, oh my gosh, coach, I really want to look at some porn right now. So don't call me.
Now they're
just
all
look
watching
it up.
porn in the clubhouse.
Oh, that'd be awkward. Everybody with
Wouldn't
their jock
it?
straps just sitting there on their seats.
Yeah, they're just throwing videos on the big screen.
Check out this one. This is my greatest hits.
Look at this. I made this. Isn't that awesome?
Wait, it's just you by yourself. I know.
I know. But look at that camera work. Oh my God.
But as you can guess, Richard, a few of the porn star people are not too happy about this.
So porn stars are like coming to the defense of the player that apparently has a problem with porn that he didn't know he had.
She's like, I'll take care of his porn addiction. Well, I'm married, but I'll be in Seattle in 2 weeks. But her last name's Lust, and she said that
it's okay. We'll film it.
Her last name was Lust, and she said that this was a cop-out, and that she wanted to see...
Shawn, I'm going to tell you right now, her last name probably isn't Lust.
Well, her porn star name.
Okay.
Kendra Lust is her porn name.
Who grew up on Lust Street? I don't know either. Because isn't that your porn name? It's like it's something.
It's your...
And this...
It's either your middle name or your first pet.
It's your middle name. It's your middle name and the street you grew up on.
Yeah. What's yours?
The street I grew up on?
Yeah, what's your porn name then?
Ian Elm.
Ian Elm? That's not bad.
Yeah.
Mine's Michael Dudley.
I
feel like that's
great.
I feel like that's a Canadian porn star.
I'm picturing like you're like the Ronald Weasley of porn.
But Kendra Lust, she said that this was a cop-out, and she wants to see substantial evidence or legitimate studies on the fact that this causes abuse. And she completely disagrees. She says that's like saying violent movies leads to violence.
So wait a minute. Okay, so the Royals owner is saying that porn addiction leads to violence against women.
Yeah.
He's saying that they're watching porn and that then because of that's leading to a rise in, say, domestic abuse.
That's what he was insinuating. Not in the clubhouse per se, but the fact that just in general.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a bold. Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? I agree with the porn star on this because that's kind of a bold assertion to make without any evidence.
Yeah, and
I think
like she made the comment of like that's saying violent movies leads to violence. Hasn't there been studies to show that that's not the case?
That violent movies lead to violence?
Yeah.
I don't know. I from what I understand, studies like that, it's kind of like a pick and choose where you can kind of like select the data to fit your hypothesis.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot of studies, though.
Like
I guess.
you can find studies that say one thing, and you can find some that say completely the opposite. It's just a question of which ones do you want to believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I will say this, in America, our movie, I would say that American movies are not very sexual. They don't show a lot of sexuality, but they show a lot of violence. And you go to some place like Europe, and it's the exact opposite. They don't show a lot of violence. They treat violence the way we do sex.
Yeah.
Where movies that are gratuitously violent in America might get a lower rating, like parental rating, than, say, a movie that has a lot of sexual content. And in Europe, it's the opposite. Movies that have a lot of sexual content might actually get a lower rating than movies that are gratuitously violent.
Mm. Yeah, because I think like here, it's pretty much if there's no blood, then they're good with calling it PG-13, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
It's like, oh no, you can punch somebody in the face and nothing happens and shoot them with bullets.
Right.
As long as there's no blood, you're good.
Right. But you go to some place like Europe or you go to someplace in Europe and it's kind of the opposite where they're a bit more lenient on showing things of a sexual nature, but they're a bit more adverse to gratuitously violent content.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if that equates to say that Europe as a society, European society is less violent than American society, but I don't know. I guess I'm saying, like, I don't think it's definitive that there's a direct correlation, but who knows? Not me.
I don't know.
Not this guy.
I'm not doing the study. All I know is I
know.
felt bad for Danny Duffy sitting up there.
Right?
And having your boss call you out. Because you know what happened right after that happened? You know, his wife.
And meanwhile, he's got porn stars coming to his defense.
Yeah.
And he's probably just sitting there going, can everybody just shut up? Like, I watched a video one time on RedTube, and now I got to deal with all this bullshit.
Yep. You know that's what he's going to get for the rest of the season. It's going to be like, so,
where's
Danny,
my beer? God, I need a drink.
So, Danny, we hear that you have an alcohol problem and a porn addiction. Which one do you want to address first? His wife standing behind him with her arms crossed. Yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to talk about? I thought you were studying videotapes in the bedroom or in the office.
Yeah, I thought you were looking
videotapes?
at plays. Turns out you were looking at somebody getting played.
Mm-hmm.
With a penis.
Yeah, you sicko.
You bastard. You sick bastard. Don't touch me.
It's kind of like the Black Mirror episode. She stands behind him in front of everybody. It's like, yes, we're trying to get Danny through this tough time, and behind closed doors, she's like, don't come near me, you sicko.
No,
you
sick
put your
bastard.
phone and your computer in here in the lockbox before you go to bed.
The fridge is open. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about the alcohol, but this porn addiction thing.
We got to solve that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's just like, son of a bitch.
So, Richard, all that to say, so we see that baseball workplaces has an issue with porn, but that's got to be the only place, you know, maybe in the athletic realm, sports, that has this porn epidemic going on, right?
Yeah, because nobody watches porn at work.
No, never.
No, actually, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. Because while you, sir, were talking about the Royals watching too much porn, which I apparently totally misread, I found another group of people that are apparently watching way too much porn. Guess who we're going to talk about now, Shawn? We're going to talk about the government.
Oh, waste. Yeah, there's always a lot of wasteful spending there.
Wasteful spending. And apparently there is also wasteful watching. Because, Shawn, I have a story from February. This is February of 2017.
So this past year. So these stories are both in the same calendar year.
Oh, yeah, okay. So apparently what this is there was a study of government workers, and a sizable number of them have admitted to watching porn at work.
That seems kind of like a trick. Like you get into like a survey meeting. It's like, all right, so this is anonymous. That's a good point. Like, so how many of these people admitted to it? How many didn't admit to it that have?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know those anonymous like surveys and things like that. People get real, especially if it's government. It's like, we know what you did. Like, why do you think I cover up my webcam on my computer? Because I know you sick motherfuckers are trying to look at my wiener.
Yeah, they are.
The government, the ultimate porn hub.
So, Shawn, almost 100 federal government employees have admitted to or have been caught viewing, quote, and this is quote here, copious amounts of pornography while on the job.
So not just a little bit.
No, yeah, copious amounts.
So what's copious amounts? Like, you know, once, twice a month?
Well, Shawn, apparently there was a worker who admitted to spending 6 hours a day surfing illicit images and videos online.
What'd you do for the other 2 hours?
He also did this for, quote, several years.
Well, I mean, like, so, all right, let's think about this. So computers have been in the workplace for a long time, but
Yes, they have.
Internet access, I guess, has been like 20-ish years. Well, no.
No. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, about 20-ish years. But like to hide it, like now with cell phones, obviously it's easy to hide it, right? Because
Sure.
you're not on
Mobile
the
networks
network.
and whatnot.
But with this, it's the government, and if he'd been like multiple years, he'd been like looking at this on an actual computer that's hooked up into the network of his workplace.
Yeah, exactly. 6 hours a day surfing illicit images and videos online. Now, okay, here's my question is this, and this is kind of a stupid question, but I feel like this is something I need to say. What the hell are you looking at for 6 hours a day?
That's a good point.
I mean, how much porn is? I mean, granted, there is a bunch out there, and
There's
I'm
a
not.
little bit.
There's a smidge, just a smidge. Like I get that there's a lot out there. I just don't know if I could spend 6 hours a day looking at it for a sizable, duration of time.
Well, I think
6 hours a day.
Just surfing the internet for 6 hours a day is difficult, I think. But to be able just to do just porn. So I wonder, is that what he did? It's like he looked at like okay stuff for 2 hours a day, and then for 6 hours it's porn.
Like he just ramps, like you're saying that like he maybe starts tame and then just ramps it up throughout the day.
And then like
so by the time like it's almost time to punch out, then he's watching like BDSM and he's watching like people get spanked and punched in the face.
It's a good point. Like he goes into work, it's like, damn, I just don't want to go to work today. Walk in, you're surfing the internet, and then you start getting into your porn. It's like,
yeah,
God,
you start out mellow.
Here?
It's like, oh, I think I'll stream some stuff off of, I'll stream some late night Cinemax movie. Like I'll watch that for a bit. So you start out with something kind of tame, and everything's going okay. Like okay, let's ramp it up. Maybe
goes into some like parody porn.
Right. And then, oh, look, there's a, dirty remake of The Exorcist, the triple Exorcist. Okay, I'll watch that. Like then and then it just slowly builds. And then by the time you're ready to punch out, then it's like, all right, like big booty Puerto Rican goddess, go. Safe search off.
Oh man. So like, how could you like, I just don't see like what you could get done, or like there's cut some that's you talk about cutting some federal funding, like there's 6 hours you could get back.
Yeah. Oh, not just okay, so 6 hours a day surfing illicit images, and also some people, and also collectively they were maintaining tens of thousands of adult images on their office desktops.
Oh geez.
So not only were they watching stuff, yeah, they're like, oh, save this. Oh, I'll send this to Ted in accounting. Like he'll love this. So maybe that's what they're doing. They're just looking for like pictures to send to each other,
trying to one up each other. Each department's like a game.
They're like, look at this crazy shit. Look at this. Man. She drinks the cup, and then she drinks the cup. Oh my God!
Christmas parties would be amazing.
They're all just huddled in the corner with phones.
Swiping. Oh, you sick fuck.
Oh, bastard. While only some of the cases revealed by the investigation team, this is the Washington, D.C. NBC News affiliate did this investigation. While only some cases revealed by the investigation team were criminal in nature because they included super bad stuff. The investigation raised questions about whether the federal government has instituted sufficient penalties. Using the Freedom of Information Act, they sought records of cases of egregious on-the-job pornography viewing at 12 major government agencies. So this list included
all the other 100 agencies. Like, please don't be on that list. Please don't be on that list. Woo!
So
number
13 included
the
Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Justice, the Social Security Administration, the Department of Energy. Okay, Department of Energy, no. Like, I'm saying no, because those are the people that are in charge of the nukes. They're supposed to be.
Really?
Yeah, the Department of Energy, they're the ones that maintain our nuclear arsenal.
I didn't realize that.
So I would think that they need to be doing other things. like making sure that we all don't die in a fiery nuclear holocaust. The U.S. Postal Service is on that list. And where's some other ones? NASA. NASA is also on that list.
Born in space.
See, this is kind of like we did the story about the guy with the moon rocks.
Yeah, where he's getting all turned on by him.
Yeah. He's bringing ladies over, be like, let's have sex on the moon rocks.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're up there in that space station all by yourself, or if you're with like a Russian who doesn't speak English, it's like, well, we can't talk about anything, but we both know the language of porn.
At the Environmental Protection Agency, memos showed at least 2 employees at the agency's Washington, D.C. offices admitted viewing large quantities of pornographic material at their workspaces. In one case, the employee acknowledged watching porn for up to 6 hours a day for, quote, several years. In the second case, at the agency's Office of Water, an employee was suspended for 5 days after being seen watching videos at a work terminal.
Well, it seems like the dude watching it for 8 hours, how's he getting away with it?
Yeah. It must have been his boss. He's like, what is that? That looks fucking tame. Get out.
That'd be interesting to see like what level those guys were.
Oh, you're watching MILF porn. Oh, you hardcore player. Get the goddamn out of my office. Fucking lightweight. 3 cases are 3 cases are improper and constitute time fraud by workers whose salaries are funded by taxpayers. The computer systems were purchased to perform government work. This is the Inspector General of the EPA. At the Department of Commerce, they found a patent and a trademark employee made 1,800 connections to pornographic websites. Because that's the thing, Shawn, with the government servers, they can see where you're going. They can see what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
they can track you fairly easily.
Well, any workplace typically does track what you're looking at.
Right. 1,800 connections. So at what point do you think he was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm sure that there was more and he was like trying to hide it.
Yeah.
But then at some point he was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. And this guy went for it. 1,800 connections.
The dude that I've been looking at for years, like, I'm sure he started out like, 5-10 minutes here, nothing happened. Then he jumps like 30 minutes a day, then an hour. And at some point he's like, I could just do this all day. He walks in. It's like casual Monday again, huh, Bob? Yeah, sure thing. It's like, what's with all the Kleenexes? You getting a cold still? Like, you've had a cold for a long time. Yeah, this lotion helps that cold too.
Why don't you open the blinds in here, Bob? It's always so dark in your office.
It's the way I like it. It's how I get all my work done. And by work, I mean work.
The employee told investigators, when I'm working hard, I go to these images to take a mental break.
Oh, it's like a fidget spinner, but for porn.
So he's sitting there and he's like, all right, finish that email. Click. Ooh.
Only 7.5 hours more to go.
Oh my God.
I just like what kind of like browsing security do they have there? It seems like most workplaces you can't even go to like Facebook and they block it. It's like, no, this is not work related.
Yeah, you can't go to Facebook, can't do a bunch of shit. Meanwhile, these guys using government servers are like, hey, sometimes I like a girl and a horse. An employee at the DC headquarters of the Federal Railroad Administration searched for porn for 252 hours in 1 year.
Wow. So what?
So they say that's the equivalent of 10 full work days, according to memos from the agency's Inspector General.
So that's about, if he works 5 days a week, that's about an hour a week or an hour a day, which that's pretty tame compared to the dude looking.
It's like, that's my lunch hour. That's me time.
That's my time.
Draw the blinds, close the door. It's time for my lunch break.
It's like, okay. How do you watch the train tracks while you're going? We just ride the rails.
And then I'm watching this girl get railed. Huh? Come on, guys.
I'm gonna
forward this. Hang on.
Yeah, think about that. Like now your pilot sitting up there in the front thing, like Wi-Fi is down the plane because Steve the pilot's taking all the bandwidth to look up his porno. Hey Chuck, look at this. That's not a stewardess.
Several agencies questioned by the investigation team said penalties for computer misuse, including the viewing of pornography, are flexible and can include written reprimands. So that's
get wrote up.
So that's
like,
the other
stop
thing. Yeah,
looking
they're
up
like,
at porn.
hey, knock it off. Because I know that always
months.
stops me from doing stuff.
Well, because write-ups it like goes off after 3 months, and probably in the government thing. So it's like after 3 months, like all right, back to my porn schedule.
Yeah,
get caught again. 3 months off. That's you just take a big vacation.
Like that. Then you just walk into work, and you're like, hey, isn't my write-up's clean? Right? It's gone. Oh yeah, it's Monday. Woohoo! All right, guys, I'm taking a long lunch. Door's gonna be locked. Don't come a knocking. If you hear the office chair a rocking, because I'm jerking off in it.
That's what I mean. Don't write me up yet. I need a couple more weeks to get this done.
Woohoo!
So Richard's like, you think about porn. Like, I don't even know who would think that that's an okay idea to look at porn in the workplace.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never. Now, okay, wait. Now, I will admit that I have looked at porn at my workplace using my phone.
Sicko.
But it's usually like a picture of something funny that I show to somebody else.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, Richard,
it's usually a funny picture that has nudity in it that I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This is hilarious.
It's usually a wiener.
But I'm not on like you said, I'm not on company Wi-Fi. I'm on my phone. I'm on the mobile network. That's my time. It's my time, goddammit.
It's Richard's time. It's Richard's porn time.
That's right. Don't you fucking forget it.
So Richard, during my internship, you're trying to learn like how business works, right? Like how,
I guess
like how the office, because
you're a young pup, and all you're wanting. You're thrust into the big wide world, the big wide scary world, and you're trying to learn. You're trying to learn from people that have been there and had experience, and you're like, I want to soak up this knowledge.
Yeah, you're trying to learn what's appropriate, like how you interact with people.
Yeah. It's like the start of it's the start of your journey to become a Jedi Knight in whatever in whatever field.
So I'm working at my computer, and I didn't do like hard stuff. Like they basically just had me doing like data entry. And so I'm like, oh, my tum-tum hurts because I had wings last night. I need to go take a poo-poo. So I get up, walk from my desk, and how it was set up is like a cubby where I sat with some other people. And then when you walked around the corner, there was a guy who's kind of like the receptionist almost, sat there and his computer faced our direction.
Okay. So you guys are in like in individual little cubicles.
We were in like one big cube kind of thing. And when we came around, so we came behind him if we left our area, but we're like right next to him.
Okay.
And the last thing you would ever think about seeing on somebody's screen is porn, right? Like, because it's the workplace. So
apparently not. Apparently not if you work at the EPA.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys like, oh, must be 9:05. Tom's looking at nasty close-ups.
So I come around the corner, Richard, and I kind of peeked at his computer, and I walked past. I must have stopped. I'm sure I stopped because my brain was processing what I just saw on his screen. And it wasn't just like images. It was legit like hardcore porn. And he had headphones on, so it wasn't like blaring. But I just walked on my way, went to the bathroom, because that guy was dating the boss's daughter, or married to her, I think, at that point.
Oh.
So, like, he's got this
so you
cush
got
job.
up, and you went to go to the bathroom, so you got up, and you turn, and you start walking, and here's this guy watching video, headphones on.
Yeah.
Like, and that's all he's doing. It's not like he had two monitors, and he's, typing stuff on one monitor and there's porn going on the other monitor. Like that's his soul. Like you're saying that was
it. Yeah.
That was all that was there. That's what he's focused on.
Yep. Just the porn.
100% attention directed at the hardcore fucking that's going on in his computer screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I walk back. Of course, when I walk back, I peek back and it's not on there anymore. And so you sit down and you're thinking, it's like, man, so is this what happens here? Like, you flip it on your computer, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, this is what everybody else does. Got my headphones in, watching some dirty action. What happens, Richard? I get a tap on the shoulder. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, just watching videos. Thought that was cool.
Wait a minute, does this happen?
No, that part didn't happen. The part about seeing him did.
Right, but okay. See that, like, you just fucking threw me for a loop.
Like, did you just get fired for looking at porn?
I thought you were like, well, if he's gonna do it, then I want to do it too. I guess this is what you do now.
Well, I think that's
we can do this. It's okay.
If I was dumb and naive, maybe, but like in my mind, I'm like, okay, that dude is not right. I mean, that's the only thing you can think of is like you're looking at like the other people we just mentioned that doing like 6 hours of porn a day at their work. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, see, that's my thing is I don't think I wouldn't have the balls to be that guy because in my head, I'd be sitting there going, okay, there are 4 people behind me that could walk up on me at any given moment and look directly at my screen and see what I'm looking at. Now, let's say hypothetically that I'm like in an office and my desk is facing like a window, like, like let's say I'm on the, 20th floor of a building and my desk is there and windows behind me. There is no way that the only way somebody is going to look and see what I'm looking at on my computer is if somebody physically walks behind my desk.
Yeah, so you would see them doing it.
Exactly. In that instance, I'd be like, well, I guess maybe it's safe. Like I'll draw the blinds and nobody outside will see, and then I'm safe. But this guy is sitting there going, there are 4 people behind me that could walk up at any given moment. You know what? Fuck them.
Yep.
This is one of the reasons that I fuck the boss's daughter is so I can do this, and fuck you for looking. Jealous much?
Yeah. That was, I just remember walking by and be like, did I just see what I thought I saw? Like, no.
So you never called him on it?
No. Well, I mean, because he was the boss's daughter's husband.
Oh.
And I'd only been there maybe 3 months.
Then you bust that out on the last day.
Yeah, I actually put a good point. Like, they're like, why don't you want to take this job that we're offering you? Well, I don't agree to watching porn at the workplace. Like, that son of a bitch.
Maybe.
Conference.
You know what should I do with my workday? Oh, maybe I could, I don't know, watch a gangbang like Tom over here. Oh, don't deny it. Don't give me that stupid look.
You know we can look at your browsing history, right? We've got all that data.
Also, you know that you had what if it was like his videos? What if he like uploaded? He was uploading his own shit.
He was using their bandwidth, so it got up quicker.
Yeah. So he's like, maybe I could watch porn like Tom over there. By the way, Dave, your daughter's got a nice set of tits.
Tom's like,
so I'm not taking the job. Peace.
Good luck at family counseling, you son of bitches. Oh, mercy. Yeah, that was my experience with it.
Tell Tammy she's got a sweet pair of titties.
Well, Richard, we got Danny Duffy, who's struggling with drinking and getting called out on his porn addiction. Apparently, the government has a problem with porn addiction. That he
apparently just realized he had.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the look on his face was probably like,
what?
Porn addiction?
I thought we were buds. I thought we were bros.
Oh my God. See, yeah, I would. So lesson learned, Shawn, I would never throw you under the bus.
Thank you.
About your porn addiction. I will never tell a living soul about your massive porn addiction.
I've got a good collection of movies. Well, there's another baseball player, just kind of touching back on this. I don't remember what his name was. He played for the Yankees. He like legitimately collected porn DVDs. Like
as a collector?
Yeah, like hundreds of thousands of DVDs that he had.
Like look at this. This is, Ass in the Grass 7.
I can't find 8 and 9. I've been looking really hard.
But I got 7 and it's mint in box.
Well, Richard, I guess do you want to throw any Richard's closing thoughts on the our addiction helping episode?
I guess I would say that, maybe, I'm sure there are people that have a legitimate problem with addiction, and with porn addiction, and that's a crappy thing. And, if you feel like you need help, of course, go and seek help, and nobody's judging you for that. But I guess if you're just like a dude that's wanting to hang out and, watch shit on Pornhub, like, just do it at home. Because my thing is this, is I watch pornography for a result. Like, I watch porn, and then I masturbate, and then I'm done watching the pornography.
Then there's shame.
Yeah, and then there's shame, and then there's a penguin walk to the bathroom so I can, clean my shame off because I'm a disgusting human being. And, like, how will you do that? Like, to me, watching it at work is just kind of a big tease. No payoff.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do it, just do it at home, because it's a much more relaxed environment. Your home is your castle, and that's where you watch porn in your castle, like the royals. Huh?
Nice way to bring it back. All right,
watch porn in your palace, like Buckingham Palace.
Let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Go to our website. We're at languageofbrones.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbrones.com. Check out the LLB Army Intelligence Reports. Like us on Facebook. And go out recruit somebody for the LLB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher.
And when you are on the iTunes, when you're doing the tunes, be sure to stop by, give us a rating and a review, because we love those ratings and reviews. And we read them. Mm-hmm. We do read them. And if we know who you are, we love you, and we will send you things. We're like, hey, thanks for the review. So if you want to leave contact information and stuff like that, like, we will totally say thank you, because
just email us to the contact info when you leave a review.
Right. And because we are desperate for attention.
Yeah. We've got a lot of coconuts we need to mail out.
Oh my God. And you know what? There's the closing thought. If you're going to have sex with a coconut, like, do it and then throw it away, and make sure the hole's big enough, and then throw it away. You're done. Coconuts are cheap.
And you can always check us out. I think maybe after this episode might be debatable, but you can check us out on the Pod Pros Network.
Because it's the
nuttiest podcast site on the internet.
Because nobody there watches porn at work.
No, we're all about podcasting.
That's right. We're focused.
And if you want to throw a little money in our tip jar, go to our Patreon accounts, www.patreon.com/languageofbromance. Well, is there anything else before I close her out, Richard? You have any?
No, sweetie. We're done.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver. Richard, where are you going? Why are you walking like a penguin?
Speaking of eating the beaver,
Brody.
Check this out.
Oh, I didn't know you could actually eat beaver.
Yeah. Now look at this one.
Oh, my eyes.
That's me.
Oh.
I made it myself with a coconut.